Howdy peeps, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. Today we're out and about exploring, and we're at the Church of St Mary the Virgin in Gislingham, Suffolk, which is Mary's home village as it were, and a very old building, as you can probably guess. If I point the camera roughly where I'm supposed to be pointing it. It was grade 1 listed. It was built in the 13th century. You might be wondering, yes, we do have a story about the tower. So we'll just have a wander around past the graves. Quick, something that didn't turn up in my note taking. Pathway was funded by the Gislingham Variety Club in July of 2003. As you can see, it's the old style stone construction. Flint and mortar, and it's been around since the 13th century. Slightly frosty today. We are basically in the middle of nowhere. There will be the occasional car drive past, but you can hear all the birds, and it's a beautiful calm place. A bit chilly today, frost on the ground, but the church has had many upgrades over the centuries. Obviously we've got a lot of very old memorials and graves and markers. And lovely stained glass windows, which more to come on later. The traditional yew trees. But in 1410 the chancel and nave were rebuilt in the decorated style. The nave was extended up to its present length of 40 metres. 120 feet, and it was also widened by 4 feet in the 1480s. The roof was also replaced, and the nave has apparently a very beautiful double hammer beam roof, and the poppy benches were also installed at that period. Let's come out here with the sun on the building. Beautiful warmth. Oh, we have a do not enter. The northeast window, forgive me for not knowing my exact directions. If we're in Attleborough I might have a clue. There's some of the original 15th century glass still in the window, which depicts English wildflowers, columbines, things like that. Reportedly or reputedly made by the company Hayes of Ockhold. We have a slight collapsation. I'm not going to focus in on any of the graves because reasons, respect, etc. People I don't know. The original tower, as we can see there, that obviously does not look like an original tower, does it? There we are. So the original tower was destroyed during a reclamation of the monasteries, etc. in 1598, and was rebuilt 60 feet tall in 1639. It contains 200,000 red bricks and was paid for by a Mr. Robert Petto, a local man I believe. And the bricks were fired at the nearby Alwood Green kiln. Inside, oh, crack, stepping on twigs. We have a 3-deck pulpit with the typical 17th typical 17th century position and style. And the box pews went in 1810. The chancel was restored in 1860 during a Reverend Thomas Collier's time with wooden reredos, I think that's how you pronounce it, containing slates painted with the symbols of the evangelists. And the organ was made in Bellington in 1870 and originally it comes from All Saints Church in Dickleborough. It was installed here in 2001. There are 3 boards inside dedicated to those that fought in World War One. One for the ones that didn't come home, and 2 for the ones who survived and came home. In generally poor condition, the church had a major restoration in the 1980s and 90s, and in 2006 the 6 bells were removed. The 6 bells were removed in the 1970s, but in 2006 they were repaired and rehung, along with 2 new bells for a total chime of 8. And that is about all the knowledge I was able to dig up on this wonderful old church. Not really. I apologise for the really bad camera work. I've been looking at my notes rather than where I'm pointing the camera. But hey, if you're used to this channel, you're used to the camera being pointed in random places. So yeah, the usual, as I said, the yew trees, which were used in ancient times to make longbows. And there is still an in-use graveyard, so there are new graves going in, as I say, which I'll try not to concentrate too closely on. We'll look away because some are really quite recent. And we have the older section over here, little overgrown, but tends to be the place of the older sections of old churchyards. Nothing bad though. So we're looking at people's houses now instead of the actual graveyard. Whoops, never mind. It's seen worse on this channel. So we wander back round. As I say, some of the graves are fairly recent, and I'm not familiar with the layout, so I'm being careful where I walk. It's generally considered rather bad form in the UK to walk actually on people's graves. You can see we've got a decent gap between the 2 lines, and people are the body, the coffin, is buried in front of the stone, so if you walk towards the back of the stones, you aren't risking walking on anyone's grave. And over here we have a Wild Mary for the real reason we came here, and it's a sad reason, and I'm not going to point the camera at Mary. Real reason we came is so that I could introduce myself to Lauren Ann Moore. I won't go into the details of the story of why. This is a young angel that's very close to both our hearts, born and passed on the 21st of August 1999. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's been kind of brief, but there we go. Obviously I did look, I didn't find any reports of paranormal activity local to the church. Plenty of others, but not this one. And having walked around, I've not felt anything. So it's a nice, peaceful churchyard. Just a nice place to be. A bit chilly today, but hey, we're in the shade. And it was a frost here last night. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've got anything to ask, questions, points, stick them in the comments below. Make sure we don't catch the other grave. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, memberships, all that stuff. Peace out. I won't do the rock on because of where we are. Bye bye.